Hey everyone, welcome to your workout. Today is going to be a strength workout that focuses on our total body. And like we do with almost every workout video, we're going to begin by warming up and doing some of the movements. We're going to practice some of the exercises that you're going to do. Our first one is going to be a squat, so we recommend wherever you're at, go ahead and just start practicing those squats. When we practice at the beginning, we keep it easy. Sometimes we sit down like you see me doing here and waiting a little longer. We kind of wiggle things in and out, play around with it. And for our second movement, we're going to practice a row. So again, we've got kind of a lower body movement and then an upper body movement for this first superset. Now, whatever you've got with your row, you'll see me, I have a band and I'm using not very much tension here. I'm keeping it pretty light. A lot of people will do this and warm up with absolutely nothing. They just kind of go through the motions with their arms, and that can be a great warm up for you too. Now, the reminder with our warm up is that we do each of these for 20 to 30 seconds and really just getting a feel for the exercise. We're checking in, making sure this feels good, and we want you to do the same. If you need a little more time, take a little more time. It's okay to pause the video, it's okay to rewind it, it's okay to do whatever you need to do to get ready for it. And that's true for any point of the workout videos, ever, right? The goal is you can move the best that you can, doing what you can, okay? Let's talk about some of the particulars here. Okay, we're gonna get going in just a second. Remember, we're gonna squat first, then we're gonna row. 3, 2, 1, begin. Let's see those squats. All right, now here's the particulars. You're gonna go for 45 seconds. You're gonna have a 15-second transition time. It all adds up to 1 minute, okay? 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest or transition. Then you're gonna move into your rows and you're gonna follow that same time routine. 45 seconds on, 15 seconds of transition time. You've got those two exercises, a minute apiece, right? We talk about how we break up that time. And you're gonna do that 5 rounds total. So you're gonna go 10 minutes of stopwatch time here before we take a break. That's all you have to think about right now. You've got 10 more seconds, keep doing your squats. Just know what's coming. You focus on one movement at a time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent job. Take a breath, stand up, shake it out. Go ahead and get what you need for your row. Now today, you're gonna see me moving between a variety of equipment. I've got my backpack filled with books, I've got my kettlebell, I've got my band. You can work out with any of those things. Pick one and get ready for your row. 2, 1, begin. Or the super sneaky version, you don't have to have anything. Like I talked about at the beginning, you absolutely can get stronger and get better at this move by using nothing and just going through the motion. So again, choose what works best for you, get into it, and smooth it out. Now, our intention for this first round is to look good and to feel good. So take your time. Sometimes it is absolutely the best move to not have any resistance there so that you can kind of continue that warm up from the beginning. You're really paying attention to how you move, how things feel. Are your feet connected to the ground? Are your knees where you want them to be? How about your hips, your arms, your shoulders, your elbows? Is everything kind of checking in? 3, 2, 1, nicely done. Okay, you've got one round done. We're gonna get into our second round. Go ahead and pick whatever resistance method you want and get ready to go here in 3, 2, 1, begin. Now round 2 is all about dialing it up. Sometimes that can be adding a little more weight than you had the first time. Sometimes it can be something as simple as just making sure that your core is on. I like to think of that version as what we call hard style. At some point during the move, you're just adding a full body flex, right? Tummy goes tight, butt muscles get tight. If you're standing up, maybe your legs get tight, your arms get tight. Do whatever you need to do to start adding a little tension to the mix. And when you do that, your form should automatically improve. Now you've got about 10 more seconds here. Keep going. And realize that we haven't talked about weight and how heavy it is yet, and that's on purpose. We're still just making it better. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a 15-second break. Get ready for your row. Again, choose whatever you want. You'll see me stick with the backpack here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. All right, now I'm doing a version here called an upright row. It's a little different than that bent over row, but the idea is that it's still pretty close. We're still pulling. We're using our strong pulling muscles in our arms and in our back to be able to do this. And a quick word about me kind of changing things up. In almost every video, you're gonna see me or Maggie or both of us using a variety of equipment. We do that to show you the possibilities that 1, there's different ways to use resistance, and 2, there's different ways to move. Sometimes those bent over rows that we practiced at the beginning, sometimes those don't feel good for people. Sometimes it tweaks their back. Standing up can feel a lot better. So remember that you may make it as consistent as you want, or you can vary it up as much as you want to. 3, 2, 1, take a break. The main takeaway I want you to have is that I want you to move the best way possible for you. And sometimes you might need to experiment a little bit. That's okay. All right, round 3 of squats is going to begin in 2, 1, let's go. You're getting over the hump here, right? You've done 2 rounds so far. Get through this one and you'll be more than halfway through. Now our intention for round 3 is to start to make it feel like exercise. Think about what you've done already, right? That first round was about looking good, feeling good, kind of had a form check-in. Round 2 was about dialing it up. You added some tension, and with tension you got better. You prepared yourself to be able to handle a higher workload by doing a little more oomph, and now you're adding that oomph. And you can add that extra work a bunch of different ways. You can go faster, sometimes you can go slower. Sometimes that adds, right, the amount of time under tension is there. Sometimes just by changing up the resistance, right, whether you're using a backpack or a band or a dumbbell, can add some oomph. 3, 2, 1, take a break, get ready for that row. Your intention for your row is the same thing. We want you to make it feel like exercise. And you've got 5 rounds, so remember, you don't have to sprint into it. 3, 2, 1, you can ease into making sure that this feels like a workout. The goal is to start to flirt with a little bit of fatigue. By the time you're done with this 45 seconds, I want you thinking, whew. And you'll think that, maybe you'll even make that sound because you're working, right? Because your arms are getting a little tired, because your core is a little tight, you're adding tension. But the reason you can do that is because you've done the work to make sure that you look good, to make sure that it feels good as you move, and to make sure that your form is dialed up. You've got this. You've got 10 more seconds. Keep breathing. Pay attention to how you feel. If anything doesn't feel good, change it up. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. 3 rounds in, like I said, you're over halfway through this series. About a quarter of the way through the whole workout, just so you know, right? It's going to be a little more than 20 minutes here. Let's get ready for squats. Again, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Now for round 4, no extra thoughts. The only thing, if you can stack those 3 things that we talked about, your form looks good, you've dialed it up, that's part 2. It feels like exercise, that's part 3. If you can think about those 3 things, you don't have to do anything else. Just maintain. Round 4 is about continuing on, staying consistent here. 20 seconds. And just keep every once in a while, maybe every rep, ask yourself one question. Do I look good? Yes. Can I add some tension? Yes. Does this feel like exercise? Yes. If that's the case, you're good. Just keep rolling. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a little break and get ready for that row. Again, you'll see me when I stand up, I shake it out, take a deep breath or 2. You do what makes sense for you. If you need to grab a sip of water, do so. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see that row. And again, let's talk about round 4 and our intention here. Maintain. Again, do that little check-in every rep. Do you look good? Yep. Can you add some tension? Does your form look and feel better than it did the time before? Yep. Does it feel like exercise? If the answer is no, hey, go ahead and step it up a little bit. Try doing a little bit faster. If you can, think about next time grabbing a bigger weight. What can you do to dial this up just a little bit more, to aim for a little bit of fatigue? Now let's back it up. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's say that you have looked good and feel good, but you can't add that tension. That's just too confusing. Then you don't have to worry about it feeling like exercise yet. You stack them and you worry about one thing at a time. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. 4 complete rounds. You've got 1 round left. You're breathing. Check in with yourself. Remember to smile every once in a while, right? That's okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Last time through, and the reminder, again, you'll see me changing it up every time. That's to show you that you have options here. My preference personally is to find the way that feels best for me, which takes some experimenting, and then to stick with it. What I'm doing right here are called goblet squats. This is my personal favorite way to squat. If I was doing this workout just for myself, I probably would have stuck with doing this for 5 rounds. And remember that you have permission to do exactly that. Stick with what you know, or again, if variety feels really good, feel free to change it up. You don't have to do the same thing every time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. No more squats, at least for this workout video, right? Wink, wink. You might have more later on. It depends on your program. But right now, we don't have to think about that. We're going to finish off with your row before we take a little break. You ready for it? 3, 2, and begin. Find the row that fits best for you. I like these. These seated rows I think are really fun. Feels great from the posture. Can feel a little funny on my socked feet or bare feet. Again, if I'm doing this on my own, usually I'll have shoes so the band's not cutting into my foot. It's not really cutting in here, but it just puts a little pressure on it. So again, reminder, you can do lots of things to change this up and make it look and feel good for you. No matter what you're doing though, let's do that check-in again, right? Round 5 is all about finishing well. Do you look good? Yep. Can you add tension? Do you look better than you looked before? Yep. Does it feel like exercise? Oh, I hope so. Keep rocking it. 3, 2, 1. Give yourself a little break and a pat on the back. You finished 5 rounds. Y'all, that's a lot. 5 rounds is about the maximum that we will ever do when it comes to this kind of hard level strength when we're using high resistance. So fantastic work. We know that was a tough workout. All right, now before we get into the second half of the workout, we are going to do a little active recovery. Most of the time you'll see Mags and I try to do something called a down dog or a down dog rep, and here's where we're really stretching out our backside and even getting just a little bit of shoulder work. I always feel like it stretches my shoulders while it works them. We like this because it kind of combats the muscles that get tight from sitting. We know a lot of our people sit all day. I mean, heck, I do too. And stretching out those backside muscles, your calves, your hamstrings, your glutes, even your back a bit, this can just feel fantastic, and it keeps you limber and keeps your posture looking nice. So again, it's one of our favorites. That being said, if you have a different stretch, if you have something that allows you to recover and yet still be active, that's always okay to do your own thing here. You can kind of dance to your own music. Totally fine. Take a deep breath or two, shake it out, and when you're ready, go ahead and stand up. Now a reminder, I'm going to go ahead and show you the moves that we're going to practice next. We're going to do another little warm-up. If you need a bigger break here, totally fine, take it. Feel free to grab yourself some water, do what you need to do, okay? Otherwise, let's jump in. Our first move for this next set is going to be a deadlift. So again, a dry run. I don't have any weight here. I'm reaching down, touching the ground, touching my toes, reaching for the floor, whatever you want to call it. Now there's a subtle difference here between this and a squat. That squat that we did our first round, lots of knee bending. If you look at me right now, my knees are not bending as much, still a little bit. That's always a question I get. How much should your knees bend in a deadlift? And the answer is as much as you need them to bend. The main thing that you're trying to do is reach your hips backwards. I always think about touching whatever wall is behind me as I'm doing that, okay? Now our second movement, the one that we're gonna combine or superset, is effectively a push. I'm going to show you some options here, but at its bare minimum, if you don't have any equipment, your go-to move is probably a push-up or some form of one. There's lots of different push-ups that we can do. You see me on my toes, now I'm on my knees. You can practice shoulder taps, you can do bear walks, you can do plank to push-ups. There's, again, lots of things that you can do if you don't have anything. Today I'll be using the kettlebell, the band, and the backpack also to show you some things. If you do have those tools, you may use them. All right, go ahead and finish out your warm-up for your push. And again, if you need extra time, take the extra time. Otherwise, in about 15 to 30 seconds here, we're gonna roll again with our supersets. Remember, it's the same timing setup. You've got 45 seconds per movement with a 15-second break time. We're gonna go 5 rounds of each. It's gonna be another 10-minute workout. So like I said, all said and done, between 20-25 minutes for your total workout today. And the reminder is, that's a workout day. If you've got 25 minutes in, you've done well. Okay, you ready for it? 3, 2, 1, let's do our deadlift. Now you see me continuing with that body weight. That's just an option. Again, if I was doing this on my own, I'd probably grab my kettlebell or my backpack and start doing this. But we show you the body weight versions because they're great. And it's something that, you know, if you don't have any other weights or anything, this is always a great option for you, okay? Now we're gonna sound like a broken record because we're gonna talk about our intentions all over again, but we do it because it's important. We talk about our intentions because we haven't done this yet and it's worthwhile to make sure that you're doing it better. So take a moment, check in with your body. Are you looking good? Are you feeling good? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, change it up. It's okay to take a breath. It's okay to stand up. It's okay to switch your feet, play around with what feels best, and stop. Good. Okay, deadlifts are done. Go ahead and transition into your push. Now remember, I'm going to start with push-ups or a version of them. If you want to do something different, you absolutely can. 2, 1, and begin. Now, a quick little tip. If you don't want to do push-ups and you're like, oh, what else can I do? Pause the video right now. Go ahead and scrub ahead. Fast forward until you can see all 5 rounds. You'll see me do something different. Once you've found and tried something that you like, feel free to rewind it, start it back up again, and you'll be in a sweet spot. Whatever you're doing, check in, make sure that, again, it looks good and that it feels good. That's your intention right now. We don't have to have it feel like a workout. We don't even have to add tension yet. The goal is to still continue your check-in. Are your feet comfortable on the floor? Are your legs straight or are they bent? One way could be better than the other. It doesn't matter at this point. You do what fits best for you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Great first round. Nice job checking in with your body. Hopefully your movements feel good. They feel crisp. They're kind of snappy. If they're not, it's okay to change it up. 3, 2, 1. Let's try that deadlift. Awesome. And again, your intention for round 2, dial it up a little bit. Dial it up. I leave as a general term, right? Most people know if I say dial it up, you kind of know what you need to do. But there's different versions here. I always love to default to what I call hard style, like we did in those first couple rounds. And that's really just taking a moment to flex your body. Pausing, and that can happen at the top when you're standing very, upright. It can happen at the bottom right before you lift. In fact, the heavier that you go, it probably makes more sense to flex at the bottom to make sure that you're strong when you're lifting that heavy weight. Whatever it is for you, just keep going. Make it look good, make it feel good, make it just a little bit better than the round before. 2, 1, and done. All right, take that next 15 seconds, shake it out, prep, do what you need to do. I'm gonna continue on with the backpack. You're gonna see me do an overhead lift this time. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's see it. Sit up, control right back down. Now that's what I'm doing. Like I mentioned before, I like consistency. I'm showing you variety just so you have the option to do different things, right? So we can say you don't always have to do push-ups. You can absolutely play around with what you've got. But if you like consistency, feel free to pick one and stick with it. If you like variety, change it up. No matter what you're doing, keep the check-ins alive. Are you looking good? Do you feel good? Can you dial up that form a little bit? Whatever that means for you, can you make it a little bit better? 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. 2 rounds in, take a little break, and get ready to do your deadlift a 3rd time. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, begin. Stand up tall, stand up proud, whatever method you're using. Remember to add that tension, add some flex time. And now that we're in round 3, your goal is to start to flirt with making it feel like exercise. I say this in just about every video, but I love to rate my exercise as one of 3 ways. It can be easy, it can be medium, or it can be challenging. Your goal on a strength day, which is what today is usually to land somewhere between medium and challenging. I always tell people there is a 4th one, there's maximum. And I laugh because we rarely need to go to maximum. Not something that we need to do. You'll get changes, you'll get stronger, you'll get leaner from staying in medium to challenging. 3, 2, 1. I promise. That's one of the things that sets us apart is we make sure exercise is reasonable. And that's what we want for you too. It should be reasonable no matter who you are or what point you're coming along with us. 3, 2, 1. Let's try your push option. Now a reasonable version of a push-up is what we're doing right here. It's called the plank to push-up. These can be done on your toes or on your knees. And if push-ups are just outside of your comfort zone, outside of your skill ability, this is kind of a sneaky way to get really good at those. And the idea here, it's called plank to push-up for a reason, is you get down to the plank on your forearms, and then you end up in that high plank or push-up position. Kind of a sneaky way of doing a push-up. You get better at push-ups from doing this. At any rate, make sure it feels like exercise. Do a little check-in. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, 3 rounds down. You're over the hump. If you're looking at that stopwatch, you've done almost 19 minutes. That's awesome. Great job on getting this far. Let's see that deadlift again. Round 4 in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin. And let's also talk about our intention for round 4, which is to maintain. We don't make it any more complicated. I like that you don't have to do a lot of thinking, right? We've already kind of chosen the workouts for you. If you can follow along, you will get a heck of a workout in today. You don't have to remember much. We're calling out the time for you. Just show up and go. The 3 things that I do want you to think about in the moment, though, are our intentions. So again, every rep or 2, just think, is my form good? Yeah. Am I moving well? Is it smooth? That's the first one. Number 2, can I add some tension? Can I make it a little bit better? Number 3, does it feel like medium to challenging exercise? 3, 2, 1, take a break. If the answer to those questions is yes, you are in your sweet spot. You will make changes all day long. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start that press. Now I'll talk about the option I'm doing here, but after we talk about what happens with your intentions. You've got your 3 questions. Let's do a check-in. Are you looking good? Do you feel good? Can you add some tension? Is it getting better? And does it feel like exercise? Now, if the answer to any of those questions is no, your job is to back off until you're getting yeses. So if it doesn't feel like exercise, check in with the previous 2. Do you look good? Do you feel good? Can you add some tension? If the answer to those is yes, try speed it up. Do what you can. But always aim for safety. Always make sure you get as many yeses as you can. Now in our last 10 seconds, let's talk about this one. This is a floor press. This is an awesome one. If you don't like doing push-ups, you can take whatever weight you have, including a backpack, lay on your ground and push it up to the ceiling. It works. 3, 2, 1. Take a break. You're 4 rounds in. You've got 1 final round to go. Choose your favorite deadlift. You ready for it? Let's go in 3, 2, 1. In my last version that I'm going to show you here, back to body weight. If you didn't quite resonate with that first one where you were doing deadlifts but with nothing, this is a great way to add a little intensity to make it feel a little more like a workout and to get a little side-to-side movement. Sometimes our workouts don't include a lot of that side-to-side stuff, and adding this just kind of keeps you life-ready, life-proof for whatever your day throws at you. You've got about 15 more seconds, and our last intention is to finish well. Again, just ask yourself the 3 questions. Maybe just ask 1 question. Do what makes sense for you. Take a breath. Keep breathing. Keep smiling. 3, 2, 1. And you're done with deadlifts. Woohoo! You've got 1 final exercise of your workout today, and it's going to be your push. So again, choose your favorite one. Doesn't have to be the hardest one. I hope it's not one that you hate. I want it to be one that you love. 2, 1, and go. We get nothing out of doing exercises that we hate. If anything, it probably moves us backwards because it makes you not want to do your workout. So I don't want you to have to suffer through this. I want it to be challenging, yes. But if you are suffering, if you hate what you're doing, oh, please change it up. Please change it up. All right. 5th round, your goal is to finish well. Do what makes sense for you. You'll see me combining this. I'm doing a push-up plus a down dog rep. Again, if push-ups are tough, this is a nice way to make it a little bit easier, a little kinder. You've got 10 seconds here. Keep breathing, keep smiling. Almost home. 3, 2, 1, and done. Awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. You rocked it. 22 minutes plus our last little bit of active recovery. Do what makes sense for you. You'll see me get onto my backside here. I'm going to do a slightly different stretch. I'm going to kind of take that knee up, and you'll see me pulling it across my body for a little torso twist. I love this one. I swear I could fall asleep doing this. You do what you need to do, though, if you've got your own corrective exercise. All right, now let's talk. Like I mentioned, this is a 20-plus minute workout. As we've said, for just general health, for fitness, if you can do about 25 minutes a day, you are right where you need to be, right? 25 to 30 minutes. This is one of those workouts that it might not be 25 total minutes on the stopwatch, but including your warm-up, it's actually a little bit longer than that. This might be your only workout for the day. This absolutely could be your only workout for the day. If it's your first time with us, awesome. You picked a heck of a workout to start on. We love that you joined us. If this is maybe your not first workout, right? You've been with us for a while. Congratulations on making this, making through it again. And maybe this is even your second, third, or I don't know, ninth time doing this particular workout. Again, we love it. Hopefully you felt better. Hopefully you felt like you got better. I love that you joined us today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'm going to let Maggie wrap us up. Thanks again.
Well, hey everyone, Maggie here. We would love for you to subscribe to this channel. We have a lot more workout videos with different focuses and different lengths of time that we would love for you to check out. And if you subscribe, you'll kind of always be in the loop on what we're coming up with. Thanks again for joining us, gang. Make it a great day.